Hi, thanks for tuning in. Today I want to share my wish list for 2020. As the year is coming to an end, I am reflecting on the items that I have added to my collection. As a matter of fact, I'm doing a roundup video, like reviewing all of the items that I purchased this year. But I also am looking forward to the opportunity for adding some additional pieces and to continue to grow my collection in 2020. So I thought it just would be fun to share a quick luxury wish list and share the pieces that I'm looking to add to my collection and why. There's no particular hierarchy to the items on my wish list except for the first one, and the first one is to add an Hermes Constance to my collection. This year I was fortunate enough to add a Birkin to my collection, a brand new one from the boutique. So now that I have that, I of course would love to add a smaller Birkin, a Birkin 25 to my collection as well, but I'm really looking to add another crossbody bag option to my collection. The majority of the handbags I purchased this year are actually like shoulder or hand carry bags. So that's why the Constance is actually first on my list. I would love to get it in a neutral color tone. I like getting Hermes bags in a pop of color, but there's just something about, I think because it's going to be crossbody, that I want it to be more of a neutral tone. And so I'm still going after like a gray Hermes bag, so an Attain or a graphite, or even some of the lighter grays I would look into, but I'm leaning a little bit more heavily towards the darker grays, or even a gold color. So I don't really have a lot of beige tones in my wardrobe, but there's something about that gold color that I feel like is so beautifully neutral and can work really well with like an all black outfit and things like that. So that's also why I'm looking at a gold color, but it doesn't matter what size it is, an 18 or a 24. I'm not really fussed about the specific size, but I'm a little more fussed about the color and actually being able to get my hands on one. They're so difficult to come by. So sticking with Hermes, another piece that I have on my wish list is actually the CDC 24. I believe this is a new style that had come out this year, and I saw it summer, early fall-ish. I saw it at the boutique for the first time. I actually really like this design. I personally am not a huge fan of the CDC itself. I think the original CDC is a little too big for me. I think it's beautiful and I love seeing other people with it, but for me it's just a bit too big and too chunky. So when I saw that they came out with this smaller version that has some of those elements still there, I really liked it, and I really thought it's a nice layering piece to have. So that's why this is on my wish list. I could have purchased it at the time that I saw it, but it's one of those items that I have it on my radar, and when I see the right color combination, that's when I think I'll purchase it. So that's why it's on my wish list. The next item on my wish list is kind of a broad category. It's not really a specific item because I'm not sure which one I want yet, but it is a thin waist belt. I have been going back and forth between the H belt from Hermes, or even the Kelly belt from Hermes, or a vintage Chanel, more chain style to be on the waist, or even the Christian Dior CD logo belt. I haven't really narrowed down which one I'm really after, but I do know that I'm feeling like I need some kind of thinner waist belt that I can wear with sweaters to cinch in, or tunics and dresses. So this year I did add a very versatile inch and a half thick belt from Chanel, which is wonderful, and I like to wear that as both a hip and waist belt. And I noticed that it's a bit thick sometimes for it to be on the waist. It's not as cinching or slimming as I would like it to be. So that's why I'm naturally looking at a thinner waist belt. I'm not sure which one I want though. So if you have any of those items, like the Hermes H, the Kelly belt, vintage Chanel belt or even the Christian Dior belt, please let me know how you like those items, because I would love to get your thoughts before I figure out which one I want. Moving on to Chanel, there are a couple of items that I have my eye on. The first is a Chanel 19 bag.
What?
It is the Chanel 19 bag, but very, very specifically in this print that is coming out for spring summer 2020. And I emphasize that it's very specific for that print because I personally am not a huge fan of the 19 itself. When it first came out, I saw it. I loved that the quilting was like larger. I loved that it looked so soft and so supple. I loved that it had that kind of casualness to it because of how soft it was. But I wasn't a huge fan of all the chain work. There are like 3 or 4 different styles of chain, not to mention there's also chain on the CC at the front. And so it was like a little too much going on for me when I first saw it in the leather version. And then they started coming out with like a houndstooth and like a denim print or denim tweed style, which then I thought, okay, like it definitely has a very different vibe to it when it has those different fabrics on it, but it still wasn't a bag that I was like dying to get my hands on. And then I finally saw like the runway show for spring summer 2020, and I saw the 19 in this specific print and I died. I just thought the combination of that bag with that print made it so fresh and so casual but chic. I just really liked how it looked together. So I like immediately contacted my SA to let them know that that's something that I'm interested in. Like when it comes out, like I'm going to run to the boutique to check it out. So that specific 19 bag is on my wish list for 2020. And tangential to that, the next item on my wish list is some ready-to-wear piece that has this print. I'm like super obsessed with this print. I'm not sure, I just immediately fell in love when I saw it. It's more on like a clean graphic side, which are prints that I like, hence like look at the squares on the H blanket. It's the tones that I like as well. They're like the blues, purples, pinks, but they're not like bright, they're slightly muted. So it kind of looks like a little mosaic. I just really like that print. And so I saw there's like a dress and a sweater top and a skirt, like there's a whole bunch of ready to wear that also come in this print. So I'm looking to add one of those pieces to my collection. I need to check it out when it is finally in the boutiques, and then I'll figure out which one makes the most sense. But that's definitely something I have my eye on. The next item on my wish list is a shoe, and it is the Saint Laurent tribute sandal, like the flat sandal style. And I think I specifically want it in white. I have been debating on adding another pair of the Hermes Oran sandals in white to my collection. I haven't really gotten around to it. When I was in Hawaii last year, I thought about it, but there were so many other things that I wanted to add to my collection that I decided to pass on the Orans. I just really love the silver ones that I have too, so I'm not so sure if I really need in the exact same style but different colors. But I've also heard really great things about the Saint Laurent tribute sandals, which is why I put it on my wish list. It's a very similar style of shoe, which I like to wear in the summertime. So I think it would be nice to have that like variety in my collection. So that's why the Saint Laurent tributes are on my wish list, but it could at any point in time flip over to an Oran in white. The last item on my current wish list is the Cartier Love necklace. I know the Love bracelet and the Love rings are like a cult thing. A lot of people have them and a lot of people love them. There are people who like have entire like stacks of them, which I'm like, but for me personally, I haven't always gravitated towards them. I mean, if one fell from the sky, like I would grab it, you know what I'm saying? But it hasn't been one that I felt like I had to like run out and go buy. It might be because I don't typically wear bracelets like permanently on my wrists. I do wear certain rings, so a ring could be an option. Maybe I don't feel like I'm at a point in my life where I want to have that kind of a ring yet, but I personally really like the interlocking Love necklace. I know there's a flat one too that's like a single round ring that has the love accents on them, but I like the one that has the two interlocking rings because I just love that design, and I always wear a necklace. I won't take it off, so I think a necklace for me is a better option. I previously had like the Van Cleef & Arpels Alhambra necklace on my wish list before, but I never ended up getting it. I personally haven't had that best of an experience inside of the VCA store, so maybe that's why. I like how casual the interlocking love necklace is. I like that it can be somewhat dressy, but it's also like a really simple piece to wear with t-shirts and in a casual outfit. Not that the love bracelet or ring can't do that, but it's just more of a type of fine jewelry that I'm gravitating towards. So that's why that's on my wish list. We may see if I add it to my collection next year. That one might sit on my wish list for a little bit, but it's there. All right, so that's everything. Those are all of the items on my wish list for 2020. The wish list itself isn't very long. A lot of times I will still add pieces to my collection that are not necessarily on my wish list. Part of it is because I don't always know all of the pieces that are going to be in a collection until the collection's released, and then I will see them, and then I will want to add those. But these are also more pieces that are like classics, like they come out time and time again, except like the Constance is something that's just like very difficult to get, so that's like a goal on the list. But the other items are pretty much classics that are available all the time, so it's more about when the timing is right, when I find like the right color and things like that I'd add those to my collection. But as I add those pieces, of course I will share them here as part of my journey. If you have any specific items that you're looking forward to adding to your collection in 2020, I'd love to hear what they are, so please leave them down below in the comments. If you have any of the pieces that I mentioned on my wish list, I would love to hear your thoughts on them, because it would help me inform, you know, when and how, what I choose to add in the new year. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to leave them down below or head on over to Instagram, and I'd be happy to help however I can. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of your feedback and support. As the year is coming to a close, I want to thank every one of you who has followed me on this journey, who has joined this community. I really appreciate everybody who is here. This has just started as a hobby. It still is a hobby because I just like to talk about these things. I think sharing is caring. Of course, all of these are just my personal opinion. I'm not claiming to be any kind of expert, but I love to just open up that dialogue and find folks who are interested in the same things so that we can just talk about them, because it's fun. But if you haven't already and you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every Sunday. So until next time, bye!